FOMO, it has arrived.
Traptendo.
What is going on, people's? DJ App here, and as you can see, we're doing a hip-hop review on the SP-404 MK2. It has arrived in the house early, and full disclosure, Roland sent me a free copy of this unit, and I'm gonna do a review, and please believe it, you already know, I'm no shill. I'm gonna give you the real bars. With that being said, I'm gonna win with my pros and cons, and I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Yeah, there's more information in the description box if you want to purchase it, of course, but make sure that you make the right choice that fits you. So here it is, the SP-404 MK2, and this is kind of an unboxing. This is a cool unboxing at that, because this is my new setup. So this is how it looks like on the inside. You get manuals and stuff. You get software too. Yeah, this baby's looking nice. Nice so far. I really like it. Let's see. All right. So a lot has changed on this unit. I mean, this looks really nice. It's a lot of good aesthetics about this I like. I like how it stays traditional to the original one, and it doesn't, look any different like the SP-555. I remember looking at that, and that design was a little, to say the least. Yeah, so yeah, really nice box. I like this. Looks like a box for a shoe. Go ahead and take a look at the top of this unit because all of the IOs right there. So let's get the IOs in here. And you can see the DC in where the power goes, the power switch. There's a USB Type-C port that is totally different from what they usually do. And then you have, I guess this is 1/8 inch for your MIDI in and MIDI out. They tried to say space, but the big difference right here is the line in mono, left and right. So that's cool. And the line outs, because that was one of my things I didn't like about the SP-404 or older Roland products, is the IO. So, and then it has a Kensington lock. On the back of this unit, you can put batteries in there. You can power it with 6 AA batteries, and yeah, let me know how you feel about that. On the front of the SP-404 MK3, you have a 1/4 inch and 1/8 inch jack for your headphones, which I think is amazing. You have your gain for your mic or your guitar input, which you can switch to as well. On the back of the Roland SP-404 MK2, you have your power supply and your power switch, a USB Type-C to Type-A or a Type-C to Type-C, depending on you. You have your MIDI in and out, which are 1/8 inch jacks, which are included inside of the box. And you have the biggest change, which is this right here. The line in and line out are both 1/4 inch jacks instead of RCA jacks, and a Kensington lock to end it all, because why not? On the right side of the unit, you have a slot for your SD card. I will tell you this right here, you can only use up to 32 gigs, so make sure that you pay attention to that and pay attention to the SD card that is supported. So I just wanted to show you that, but it is not necessary because it has built-in memory. Believe it or not, it has 16 gigs built-in memory. What in the fudge? And by what the fudge, I mean that in a good way, a very good way. Well, one thing that you can see is that the SP-404 is very, very portable. You will have to supply your own speaker. That's the only caveat to that, but 6 AA batteries, and this unit is already ready to go, just like the SP-404XX in the A. All right, so let's start off by cutting this on, and so we can see the startup process. And then you'll notice a couple of things. Well, the screen quality is different, isn't it? It's a OLED screen. Yeah, believe it or not, Roland has made good on trying to make the screen qualities better on their units, and it's loaded, all ready to go. Let's hear some of the sounds here. So you can see, finger drumming isn't impossible. I'm not the best finger drummer in the world, but I will say this too as well. The pads do feel very good. They are velocity sensitive. And if you're like an old school SP-404 head and you kind of like the fixed velocity, well, you can do that. Turn it down a little bit. And there you have it. And of course, yeah. And if you're wondering, yes, you can gate the sounds. So you will have to turn gate on, press the pad, turn gate on. And yeah, now you can press and hold. One thing that is brand new is chromatic play. So you can have chromatic play and you can redefine these pads. So if you press this pad and you move up and down, you can change the order of the pads. You can change the octaves too by using push to enter. So that's one of the things that I wanted to show you too as well. And then you can exit out. So I already know what you guys are thinking, because the SP-404 is famous for this feature alone. If you want to use it with other hardware, and that is the effects. So pressing MFX will bring you to the screen right here, and I'll just play this sound. And you know that this thing is a processing beast. So if you don't know, well, guess what? Again, you can plug up a microphone or a guitar to this and you can record stuff in there. And this is one of the cool things that you could do. So if you're into processing guitar sounds, or if you want something that works as a guitar pedal and a looper, yeah, bruh, look no further. The other thing I want to show off right here with the effects, as well as doing some processing, because you already know the vibes with me, I'm going to put this to other hardware. Well, if you press and hold the MFX button, you get a ton of effects in there. Planning on adding more effects, you can just press a pad and we can go to lo-fi and let's hear that. Another feature that I have to show you is this right here. So I'm going to press pad number 2, and then I'm going to go and press shift and chop. And now you'll see right in front of you that you have a waveform. Now, building up a waveform on here is a bit slow, so I'll just go and exit out of this one and then just press OK, and then we'll get into the chopping. But I want to show you offhand. So when it builds up a sample, it takes a wee bit of time, and I guess that's something that people might not like, but it doesn't really hinder the workflow. So again, let's go back into pad number 2 and then go into chop mode, and let's go ahead and mess with this. So you can chop samples manually or sloppy chop. As you can see, it's just as simple as that. And yeah, you can chop samples now. So we heard that these pads are velocity sensitive, but that's not the only thing that you might have noticed about these pads. You can see that there's 16 pads now, and it is a 4x4 layout, just like the Machine Plus or the MKII MPC series. And I don't know, that might be a welcome change for you guys. It might not be, but it's a welcome change for me. So let me stop talking so much and demonstrate the effects, because I want you guys to understand how dope the effects are inside of this thing. And I already know the questions that people will ask if you compare the SP-404 Mark II with any hardware and process it, and how would it sound? And the answer is yes. Anyway, so you would just plug up the MPC or whatever existing hardware or guitar to the unit, and you can plug it up in the back via the line in, or in the front right here where the input in. You can also switch from guitar to mic if you want to use a microphone or something like that. That I believe that has to do with pre's. But yeah, once you plug everything up, hit external source, and you're good to go. Y'all know I'm going to have tons of videos with the new BFF team. It's going to be crazy. Another thing worth noting is that the resampling feature is a little different than it was in the past. One thing I will say about it is, you know, if you have to delete something off of a pad or something like that, you know the workflow if you're not new to this. But yeah, you know, you will select the pad to delete and then delete the pad. Operation complete, boom, boom, boom. So let's go over here and press resample and then pick out a pad to record in, press a pad to start. Then once the recording is completed, you'll have a waveform to work with, and then continue to go about your business as far as like resampling. And yeah, so that's return. If you're into that, make sure that you can, you can chop and you can start, and you can also adjust the start and end points. And it's a little easier to do so with the new graphical UI that's inside of the SP-404 Mark II. That much hasn't changed except for like the screen functionality. So yeah, you're in there. And yes, if you're wondering, it does time stretch. You also have a remain button here, and as you can see, you can change the names of the pads and so forth. You can go stereo, mono, and you can change it if you want to do all that. You want to change the pitch, it's inside of here, and it also tells you how much storage is available on the SP-404 Mark II, which it does have internal storage, and you can use an SD card on the side here. You can expand it too. Right now, I'm just using the internal memory, which it has 16 gigs, by the way, guys. 16 gigs for this price point. Yeah, very damn good. Were you a fan of the SP-404 app? Well, guess what? It has made its return, and it has made its return in a big way. What I want to do is just show you a little bit of things, because you can plug up the SP-404 via USB Type-C to Type-A or to Type-C to Type-C if you want to do it that way. And you would just connect it to the SP-404 once you have it open. And then you can see all the files and formats. You can actually trim all the stuff on here. Every functionality that you can already do on the SP-404, if you're one of the computer heads out there that are much more of a fan of this way, well, guess what? Then that is the way that you're going to use your SP-404 MK2. So yeah, it's really dope. You can see all of the different changes, file formats, and you can change anything on here. So you can see that all in real time if you want to do it that way. And that is great. And once you're done loading up new files in that format, then of course you can get it popping. You can also use an SD card. Just make sure that the SD card is not over 32 gigs. It cannot handle anything above 32 gigs. And that's kind of a caveat of this, but either way, forgivable for the 16 gigs of memory inside of this unit. Yes, you heard me right. I'm saying it again because that is a big deal. 16 gigs. And it comes with factory sounds on the internal memory. So you just load it over here if you want to do it this way. And then you can just go ahead and press Shift and pad 14, and then you can import your stuff this way too. So if you want to do that or just format your SD card, that is something you can do. And it's pretty easy. And then you just exit. So, tell me how you feel about this video. I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments section. So, weighing in on my hot takes, I definitely say that this has a lot of pros. One of the things that I think Roland did very well was observe what people liked and disliked about the SP-404A, and they made a massive amount of improvements. Obviously, the velocity sensitive pads and the new 4x4 layout is something that's more than welcome for me. The pads are above average. They are better than the MV1, and they sit around, again, the Native Instruments machine plus having the best pads, and then the MPC, and then these right here are actually very actionable pads. The other improvement, is, of course, is definitely the I/O on the back. I got tired of the RCA jacks in the back, and oh my God, I wasn't into it. So the 1/4" jacks on the back of this unit just makes this so much more delectable. They moved the SD card slot like right here, and it's a little dark, I know. And then that's one of the things I like. And then of course they kept this more traditional, and then adding 2 headphone jacks just in case you might lose your 1/4" adapter. That is great. The cons, it's really hard to put up cons for this because again, Roland saw the anger from everybody from the SP-404A, and then it took them a while, but yeah, they delivered very well. Which brings me to another pro, which is the screen right here. Being able to see the waveforms, it's one of the things that was the charm of the older SP-404s, where you couldn't see the waveforms, but it's more than welcome on this. And the OLED screen, as you can see, it changed pretty darn good. If there is one thing I would complain about, I guess it would be the fact that they don't have scales. Like if you use a one shot and you kind of pitch it to C, and it's one of those things, but at least you can play samples chromatically at your own will, and you can insert samples within this unit without a computer, and you can do it with a computer. But a lot of vast improvements on this unit. It's really hard to say that this unit stinks in any way, so let's go ahead and just get into it. Do I give this the stamp of approval? Come on, man. It's at least a 95% rating. Very good. And hell yeah.